If you're studying logic and you've been shown one of these, and you think, what the fuck is that about? Don't panic, it's actually a lot simpler than it looks. It's just a bit of set theory. I'm going to talk you through all that. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Attic. My name's Mark Jago, I'm a philosophy professor in the UK. In this video, I'm going to talk you through set-theoretic representations of models for first order logic. So we're kind of pretty used to drawing out models maybe like this, and that works pretty well for some situations, but it doesn't work for all of them. So lots of logicians want a completely general way of defining a model for first order logic, and for that they use set theory. So maybe you've encountered set theory before, maybe you haven't. We don't actually need very much set theory at all in order to build models for first order logic. So in this video and the next couple, I'm going to introduce you to the very basics of set theory, just enough so that you can then build models for first order logic. So if that sounds good to you, you can do me a favour before we get going. Give this video a big old thumbs up, and why not subscribe to the channel? And if you hit the bell icon, you'll get notifications of when I make a new video. So we're looking at set-theoretic representations of models, okay, for first order logic. We're actually going to be defining models in terms of set-theoretic notation. So kind of in order to understand what's going on there, I need to tell you a little bit about set theory. I'm going to do most of that in the next video. In this video, I'm going to kind of crack on to how we do it, and then I'm going to explain some of those concepts in a bit more detail in the follow-up video. Okay, so if you know set theory, if you kind of got a maths background, you're great. If you haven't, bear with me, and we'll look at some of that in the next one. This video is going to focus on how we use set theory to build models. So let's just have a look at the models that we've been using, the kind of representations of models that we've been using up to this point, and we'll see why that isn't good enough for all situations. So let's suppose we're interested in three people, Anna, and do green, Beck, and Kath. And let's suppose we're interested in who likes whom. So let's do our model over here, and let's have Anna, Beck, and Kath. Okay, so there's our domain, there's the elements of the domain, and let's do in red, let's say that Anna likes Beck, Beck likes Kath, and Kath likes herself. Okay, so suppose that's the situation that we're trying to represent. Our diagram does that really well. Using the arrows like this, it's really easy to represent a two-place relation like liking. Where it gets a bit more tricky is, how do we represent a three-place relation, like being in between? Okay, so suppose that Anna, Beck, and Kath are standing in a line, like in alphabetical order, so you've got Beck between Anna and Kath. How would you represent that in a diagram like this using arrows? And then what about a four-place relationship? So we might want to say that Anna is to Beck, sisters, as Kath is to Ed, okay, siblings or whatever. So it's not going to be so easy to do 3-place, 4-place, 5-place, 100-place relationships drawn out using a diagram with arrows on it. So how are we going to do that? We want a method that encapsulates 2-place, 3-place, 4-place relations kind of in the same way, so without really changing it too much when we go from one place to the next place. So let's see how we do that. So this is where set theory comes in. And the key idea that we're going to use is called an ordered pair. And it's really simple. An ordered pair is two things, with one being the first and the other being the second. So it's like this: the first thing and the second thing. And that's basically all we really need to know for the time being. We're using these angle brackets to say we've got an ordered pair here, and the thing we write down first is the first thing, and the thing we write down second is the second thing. So for instance, to represent this thing here, Anna liking Beck, how would we do that? Well, we have Anna as the first thing, and Beck as the second thing. Okay, so this pair here would represent Anna liking Beck. Okay, so if we include that pair, that ordered pair, in the interpretation of our predicate liking, that's going to do the same thing for us as writing out the diagram with an arrow going from Anna to Beck. So we can think of these pairs here as being just like an arrow from the first thing to the second thing. Okay, so far, no big deal. We've basically just replaced an arrow with an ordered pair. But here's where the idea kind of really shows its use. Because as well as ordered pairs, we can also have ordered triples. So here we've got an ordered triple, Anna, Beck, and Kath. So if we're interested in the standing in between relationship, we might interpret this to mean that Anna is standing in between Beck and Kath. Okay, so an ordered triple has a first thing, a second thing, and a third thing. And we can use them to interpret three-place relations. And similarly, we can have ordered quadruples, and we use them to interpret four-place relations, ordered quintuples to interpret five-place relations, and so on. So once you've got the idea of an ordered pair and how we use those to interpret relations, it's really no extra effort to extend it to three-place, four-place, five-place, gazillion-place relations, or whatever. So the general idea is called an ordered tuple. We sometimes say an ordered n-tuple, where n is a number, so a 2-tuple, that's a pair, a 3-tuple, that's a triple, a 4-tuple, that's a quadruple, a 100-tuple, I don't know, a centuple or something, a kind of gazillion-tuple, probably don't have a good word for that. So that's why we have this idea, this general idea of an n-tuple, an ordered n-tuple. We always write them with these angled brackets, and in an ordered n-tuple, we have n things in that order, and we use them to interpret n-place relations. Okay, nice and neat. So exactly how do we do that? So this is where the idea of a set comes in. For the moment, just think of a set as a collection of things. We've kind of already met this notion when we interpret properties. So a property would be something like being happy, okay, like a one-place property. And we did that in our diagram representations of a model just by drawing a line around things. So we might say that Anna and Beck are happy, but Kath isn't. Okay, we did that just by kind of lassoing them. So there we've got a collection of things, okay? A collection of Anna and Beck, but it doesn't include Kath, okay? That might be our interpretation of the being happy property. Our interpretation of a property is a set of things, a subset of the domain, some but perhaps not all of the things in the domain. In this case, Anna and Beck, but not Kath. So a one-place property is interpreted as a set of things, a set of elements of the domain. A two-place property, a two-place relation, what's that going to be interpreted as? It's going to be a set of ordered pairs of the kind that we just looked at, okay? So in this situation here, where we've got Anna liking Beck, Beck liking Kath, and Kath liking herself, if we're going to interpret this relation liking, we want three ordered pairs in that set. Anna liking Beck, Beck liking Kath, and Kath liking herself. So we would write that down like this. So we're going to use these curly brackets like this to say it's a set of things, and we're going to have three ordered pairs in there. So we're going to have Anna liking Beck, we're going to have Beck liking Kath, and we're going to have Kath liking herself. So those three pairs make up the interpretation of the predicate liking, two-place relation. Three-place relation would be a set of ordered triples, like standing in between. A four-place relation would be a set of ordered quadruples, and in general, an n-place relation will be interpreted as a set of ordered n-tuples. So we've got this nice, neat definition of an interpretation of a relation. If the relation's got n places, we're talking about a set of ordered n-tuples. That's the interpretation of that predicate. So we typically write the interpretation relation with a squiggly I, and if we're interpreting the likes relation, or just L if it was a logical predicate. So the interpretation of that predicate, that bit of our logical language, is this set of 3 pairs. So basically there we have set-theoretic representation of a model for first order logic. It can look a bit complicated sometimes, but basically it's a really simple idea, and as often happens in logic, when you've got a complex thing, it's basically just a case of breaking it down into the really simple ideas that make it up, and then it doesn't seem so bad. Okay, so this video was about how we build models using some bits from set theory, but I didn't really explain what set theory is, what are sets, what is this kind of notion. So in the next video, I'm going to go into the basics of what sets are and how we use them to do this and other things in logic. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have, why not give it a thumbs up? That helps me to get this stuff out to more people on YouTube. If you're enjoying this stuff, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get updates, and I hope to see you back for the next one.